Hitler was running rampant in France and England and all them places. He was wanting to be one world government, I suppose, his idea. I don't know. But only time a guy was allowed to go home and impregnate his wife was he had to be straight, like you are, good looking, and blonde hair. You're out. You're done. But anyway, he wanted top-notch soldiers. He wanted them blonde. He wanted them straight. And the guy that had a little bit of defects, he didn't get to go home on furlough. That's his army.
They tried direct attack, and the Maginot Line fell.
That's when I found out, hey, Germans mean business, and so did we. Now, don't get me wrong, because I wasn't. We'd be stupid fools to get in their own fire. And the Germans, they say they were stupid soldiers. They weren't. They were well trained, better than we were, and they'd been at war for so long, and best equipment. They could outdo anything they had was better than what we had. We were in that foxhole all night. Daylight came, just dusk, and all of a sudden artillery come over. You know what happened? You probably don't even know you got one. You know what that is?
Your Adam's apple?
Adam's apple.
Uh-huh.
When I first got into the situation where the Germans started throwing in artillery, mortar, and everything they had, and the sky lit up, the railroad tracks lit up, and my Adam's apple shut my breath off. I thought, oh my God, this is what I was trained for. That's when I first experienced combat. So the next night, it was our turn to go up there and stop the building of that railroad, rebuilding the railroad where it crossed the river. And I thought, oh God, we're in trouble.
Yeah.
Well, thank God. You ever see concertina wire?
Yeah.
You ever get in it, it'll cut you to pieces. And I laid up there worrying my hind end off. When are they going to attack? But all of a sudden, artillery, mortars come in. Then I knew what the heck combat was. It just lit up the whole place. You could see, and then they had not only an artillery or mortar fire would hit the ground, it would hit the steel on that railroad.
Oh my God.
And boy, wow! And it was like you was living in hell. There's many a guys that can't talk about it.
Yeah.
Oh, I can tell you little stories that bother me once in a while. Special friends. Some guys I hardly knew. But this one guy, he was a replacement. He said, well, hey, what's combat like? I said, you know, I can't explain it. You have to experience it. And I said, that's the only way you find out what the pros and cons are in anything. Mm-hmm. You have to know a little bit about it. And if you don't know nothing, why, it's little harder than if you know something. Captain gave me orders to go down and stir up trouble. There was a village way over here, a big one. You could see the rooftops. It was a pretty big city. I don't know what the name of it was or nothing. But he said, and then over here was a little one that had a lake in front of a stream, which was homemade. And so when he said, Sergeant, he said, I want you to go down here and stir up trouble because the Germans are in that big town. And I want you to go down there and let on, well, fake it. And I had no idea how to fake anything.
A diversion.
Yeah, diversion, yeah, you got the right word. Yeah, I wanted to cause a diversion. And I thought, my God. And he didn't tell me how to do it. We just had rifles and our regular army gear. And went down there and I thought, well, I better burn a couple homes. I had a phosphorus grenade and we started firing our rifles just in the air. Well, you know that was what, if Matt was there as a German, what he would think, well, them suckers, I'm going to get, and we had to cross about 30 foot of water, a stream run through there.
Jeez.
And they had sent a combat engineer with his little raft, rubber raft, and
to take you across.
to take us across, yeah. And there was a whole, practically, I forget how many, 14, 15 guys. But anyway, I didn't know what the heck to do, and I thought, he wanted me to start, like we were attacking that little village, so the Germans would start moving because they felt the big force was down there, the whole army.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I done. We all left our weapons, go and made a stink. We caused a diversion. So somebody like you or like Matt, if he is in that village, his blood pressure would rise to the top of his head and smoke would come out. Them suckers, I'm going to take care of them.
Mm-hmm.
So we got up into a church or steeple or something, which I couldn't see. They had smokeless powder, the snipers. Well, I thought, nobody give me advice, so I said, okay, guys, call it quits, let's get out of here. But they was all asking me what to do. I didn't know. My God, we didn't even have a medic with us. But this young guy, I had him by the shoulder, and he was slipping. And this was wintertime, a little thin layer of ice on the water. And right in the edge, and it was slippery, and I grabbed his shoulder and tried to hold him to bring him where he'd get footing, and lo and behold, zing, right through his heart. And and then that wasn't bad enough. His eyes, he rolled back, and I couldn't hold him anymore because when it's cold, slippery, and muddy, and you're trying to get your own footing, I had to leave go. But he slipped down in that icy water, and I could watch him with his little eyes. And but I wanted to get that across. It wasn't easy. And I always think of that guy. He wanted to know so much and wanted to be a good soldier, but he didn't have his chance. First time he was out, never shot a gun, but he shot right through the heart. Then to top it off, these other guys that got off before me, they were shooting, and they shot a couple of them they hit right down in here. They were sitting down, and it came out of their private area. Bullet holes, and you know a bullet goes in you, it's very small, comes out, it's very big.
Yep.
And but anyway, them poor devils wanting to get to safety. I had no medic, and it wouldn't have done any good if I did have. And we went by a church, and Catholic or German nuns were there, and they come out and they seen these guys, and they said, leave them here, leave them here. I could understand enough of it. I think they were good nurses. They were German nuns, and they said, leave them here, we'll take care of them. A very good young fella, beautiful guy, and someday maybe I'll meet him in heaven. We almost froze to death, and I had a couple buddies. You know, you always had somebody who was closer to you than the average soldier. And sometimes we'd get so tired, we'd station somebody outside to look after us, and 4 or 5 of us would go in the house and find the couch. Midnight. You didn't know whether there was a crowd in there or not, but you were so tired just to get on the couch, you'd lay down and go to sleep. We'll go out and we'll take one shelter half, lay it down, so we can both lay down, and then we'll lay down and put the one shelter half on us, and we got pretty warm, very comfortable, and one of the better sleeps that I had. So all of a sudden, we chased the Krauts out. Germans, I don't know whether you knew it or not or read much history about their tactics, but they always, if they were defeated, you took a town, they'd always counterattack, no matter how small the unit was.
Why?
That was their training. And all of a sudden I heard, like, all your Hornets, once you start running as a platoon, it's all looked most like a bunch of horses running. You could hear the canteens, the German canteens, and their gear, you could hear it slopping up and down, and I could tell they were running. So I peeked out, and there a whole platoon of Germans were running towards the barn. And I said to my buddy, I said, I don't know about you, but I said, I'm going to run with them. And I got in between them, and they didn't even know I was there because they were so cold, and I knew the shape they must have been in.
Right.
Probably worse than me and my buddy. But anyway, we run with them, and how it all ended, I don't know. But we got in that barn again, and a couple of them says, a couple of guys said, I'll bet there's Germans right here with us, but I don't know. It all cleared up, and thank God, I don't know how it finished, but that's what I can remember of it. But I'm still here, and they were just as cold or colder than we were, and I understood that.
Right.
Yeah, if a person's wounded and you're wounded, you may become buddies.
Right.
Because you might be enemies, but you're buddies.
Yeah.
Because you're sympathizing with each other.
Yeah.
You know, people should know it ain't fun to stir up a war. And that's why now everybody that I know, even Matt, he's my buddy. I see good in everybody.
Tell me about coming home then, after it was over.
Oh yeah, oh God, I can tell. We got in New Jersey or New York, I don't know which one it was, but you know the first guy that showed up, little guy that was just drafted and thought he knew everything, and he wanted us to get in step and line up like he told the drill sergeant. We told him to go to hell. And I said, oh my God, we're in America. We're in America. They give me a bag of jelly beans and a comb to run through my beautiful hair. I had good hair at that time. A bag of jelly beans and a comb, and you were set free with your discharge.
Oh,
So anyway, I got on that train and I surveyed everything. I was always inquisitive, but I kept telling the guys, my God, we're back in America. And these young kids, I had that stupid bag of jelly beans, and I showed it to them on the train, what it was, and over there, kids would grab almost anything edible. They were hungry. I thought maybe I was still in Germany, I didn't know. So I threw it, and they just stepped back, jelly bean bag blew all over. They didn't pick up on one of them. Anyway, I went down through my dad's yard there, and you generally would see him. He's around there all the time. And he said, oh, hi, how you doing? Didn't ask me anything. He said, oh, go up and see Tolly and Ed. I could care less about Tolly and Ed. And so I walked home. And even my brothers, which they were all drafted, but they didn't go overseas. But I come home, they didn't ask me nothing. And his wife was just a baby when I left.
Yeah. It's got your name here at the top.
Yeah.
It says Albert E. Murphy, Home of Record, Alliance, Ohio.
Yeah.
Awards by date of action, Silver Star.
Yeah, Silver Star. Oh, by the way, I meant to show you that. There's my picture when I was good looking, and one after the war ended, and then I got the Silver Star and Purple Heart. I got a dozen medals up there. Hey, I'm sort of proud, and yet I don't. Everybody called me a hero. I was no hero. I just got into the place where they thought I was a hero. Yeah.
Well, I want to tell you that I really appreciate you talking to me. I consider this like sacred knowledge, and I really appreciate you sharing your story with
Well, shake hands. We have our bad spots, good spots, and leftovers.